Reverend Pam Geagan here from the Center for Spiritual Living, Pleasant Valley in Camarillo, California. And I'm happy to be with you this morning. And we are in this week the 4 spiritual disciplines that Rumi left through his poetry. And just a reminder, Rumi was a 13th century poet who was enlightened by someone named Shamas from Tabriz. And what happened is Rumi met Shamas from Tabriz, and Rumi was a Sufi, which is a Muslim from the Muslim sect. And the Sufis are known for their ecstatic dance and for connecting from the heart to the divine source. Anyway, he met Shamas and they went into a temple together. And by the time they came out, and it was estimated maybe they were in there for like 10 days or so, when they came out, Rumi was absolutely enlightened and ecstatic, and that is when his poetry started spilling out from him, just like channeling from heaven above. And he had followers that followed him everywhere. He never wrote a word. They were all transcribed by others. And then in that effort to contain the different transcriptions, they cut them, they made them into 23 different volumes of poems by Rumi, which we enjoy and love so much today, that inspire us still today. But some feel that by dissecting them like that, it took away the energetic presence of the deepening and the joy. And so the first one we did was eating lightly. And all of these things, I'm just saying what made Rumi Rumi. I'm not saying you need to do them. It's just, to me, I think there's wisdom in all of the sages and all of the wisdom that they provide us. And so the first one was eating lightly. The second one was, oh gosh, I'll look at it in just a second. The one we did yesterday, breathing deeply. And then this one is moving freely. And so all of them you'll see tie together. And so I'm going to start right now just by relaxing in like we always do. And if I knew how to use my camera better, I would be doing some of the movements. I can only do a couple that you'll see on screen when we're talking about ecstatic dance today that Rumi created. He was the creator of the whirling dervishes, a sect of Muslim Sufi that took the whole body into consideration in its ecstasy to bring about that connection with the divine. So let us just relax in now, and we're going to breathe deeply into each and every vertebrae. So we have that energy coming from heaven above, going all the way down. I just invite you to breathe deeply into the lungs and into the stomach, holding for just a sec, and then letting go with God is, I am on the out breath. Through the nostrils, God is, and I am on the out breath. And just continuing to breathe deeply into the body, into the spirit divine. And feel that energy going down, 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 down through the neck and the shoulders, and just dropping your shoulders, relaxing your neck all the way down. For many of us who have been attached to our computers. And then not only dropping your neck, but breathe in with ease and grace, as I say. Not to test yourself, but breathe in as we go down vertebrae by vertebrae into the upper back. Feeling that energy going down our shoulders, our upper arms, our elbows, our lower arms, our hands, and feel energized. Feel that energy just directed. Feeling alive, awake. And then coming right back down, vertebrae by vertebrae, coming round the back, down to the middle chest, and opening up the heart chakra. And I always see the lotus there in its beauty. And also you may have someone sitting there waiting for you, comforting you, loving you in this moment. And so in this day, when we honor an officer from the Capitol Police who has made their transition by the upset on January 6th, and also honoring all those in this COVID crisis, whether through COVID or other areas, have lost loved ones. We hold them in our hearts right now, knowing that they are in a far, far better place for them in this moment. And they've done everything they could do on this planet, and that was enough, as Chopra says, Deepak Chopra. So then wrapping around all the way down vertebrae by vertebrae in the back, breathing in, stretching the vertebrae, relaxing the shoulders and yet stretching the vertebrae. And coming back down to the belly, below the heart, above the belly button. Breathing in and then seeing that energy go around the back. And coming around. To the sacral chakra, below the belly button. And then wrapping around vertebrae by vertebrae. Breathing in and just relaxing in, hearing my voice, hearing the Koshi bells in the background maybe, relaxing the hips, the thighs, the knees, feeling that energy going down the calves, the ankles, the feet, all the way to the Middle Earth. Grounding us. And then continuing just to breathe in. One more big breath with God is. I am bringing that light all the way up, seeing it, feeling it to the crown chakra. Seeing it shoot out into the heaven world, to all the universes. See it surrounding us from the left to the right, to the top, to the bottom, to the north, to the south, to the east, to the west. And feeling our bodies alive. As I begin to tell you more about Rumi and ecstatic dance and moving freely through dance. Just relaxing in. And I'll start with one of his poems. Spring hasn't given call to prayer. Get up and come to the garden. Listen for the voices and the tulips and the mountain. Learn how to dance from the branches of the trees. Rumi believed that the ecstasy lies within us all, and it is the ecstasy within us that makes our body move. And when we're able to move freely and surrender to the larger forces of breath, not burdened down by heavy foods, And then we tune into and experience the ecstasy of the energies that pass to our body, through our body. That is when we become alive. When we feel them, those feelings and expressions of ecstasy, they naturally start materializing, bringing us to life. And yet we often inhibit our bodies by too much food, breathing shallowly, and stifling our impulse to move. I am reminded about children in seats for hours in school, are told not to move. And yet the movement in that whole body learning enhances total wisdom, for we are not separating out the experience of the body, the mind, the soul, the heart are all in one. The impulse that lies within us to move is as old as life itself. Life doesn't want to stand still, so why would we expect our children and ourselves to stand still? And history has shown that even the earliest humans, following primal instincts and impulses, moved. They danced. And the activity of dance began to emerge as one of the first ritualized forms of human behavior. We believe Rumi started out in a life as an Orthodox cleric, but what he ended up and became is an ecstatic dancer, creating what is now known as the whirling dervishes. Like so many others before him and since him, he tuned into three strong feeling energies, which the Sufis describe as the intense awakening and longing in the heart and soul for union with the divine, or whatever they felt so achingly separate from, and what so achingly we feel separate from. And he learned and shared that the longing and the aching was relieved and released through the surrendering movements of dance. Music became Rumi's music. It became the inspiration, freeing the poetic language within him as he spoke and moved joyously about town, with people, followers following him to transcribe this wisdom so it was not missed or forgotten. So dance wasn't just dance to Rumi. It was a form of physical prayer that loosened the tight grip of the self so that he could experience the energies of ecstasy. And in that ecstasy, of course, he shared. And he began inviting people to join him in groups performing ceremonies of dancing. He called Sima, and Sima actually translates into heaven. So he created the dances of heaven, connecting self with whole body experiences. And music and dance, for the better part of our recorded history, was really very rare until Rumi came along. And now in recorded history, we now know the sounds of music are transmitted everywhere. One of my favorite films, August Rush, about the boy who heard music everywhere he went. From construction crews to the bells ringing in chapel. Everything became a sound that was transmitted into the notes of music. And so in recorded history, music has turned millions of people into ecstatic dancers that calls to and answers the cry of liberating the dancer within. And Rumi's greatest advice was one does not learn to dance. They just listen to the music and let their bodies move. And some of it again was as he watched the children spin around and around, swirling and turning, and they became more and more ecstatic. Their joy didn't lessen, it was heightened, filled with giddy joy. And they did it because it wasn't because it made them dizzy. Dizzy may have been part of it, but he noticed it took them out of their mind into a place of an ecstatic playground. So he believed and revealed something he believed that dance could do to bring to you the ecstasy and the connection of the divine. And it couldn't be simpler. He created this simple way of twirling and dancing. And it's where you keep your arms outstretched. And he said, you have your right hand outstretched, your left palm facing down, and you keep your eyes fixed in this stretching on the left palm. And then you begin to, and you gaze raptly at the left palm, and then you begin to spin to the left. That was how he created his dance of the whirling dervishes. And you turn to your left, round and round and round in circles. And then you surrender to whatever starts happening to you. So when you leave here, if you want to try that and you feel comfortable doing it, I invite you to try it. But my main point in sharing this was that ecstatic dance was another step in that whole body meditation that connected Rumi with the divine. There are other ways we can do that. but by recognizing the energy within you that is calling you to move is what is important in this meditation. So I'm going to end with poems that Rumi wrote that inspire us to step into the ecstatic dance of life, the ecstatic movement of life. Take it beyond the dance. Every time you move, give great thanks for the body that moves, lives and breathes, the divine within you, and has its energetic presence within you, calling you to move, calling you to continue to be strong, walk, dance, breathe deeply, eat lightly, and gaze raptly of the divine within and without you. And so he wrote, "Oh, Sufis, keep whirling and dancing. For God's sake, and make it ecstatic. You've gotten so drunk on the wine of being, you've got ecstasy written all over you. It keeps calling, so get ready for the journey as you start to dance." Your hair spread in the wind, your center, spread around your center, the hair. Put the souls of Sufis to dancing. The sun and moon and stars keep turning around the sky. We're in the middle, turning around the center. Your singing and playing are so beautiful. It causes a commotion among the young. Body is like dust and soil. Soul is like the wind. Soul kicks up the dust and does the dance of particles. Soul is revealed, so let's say your soul looks a lot like dust and soil, and another soul meets you in that dust. The whole universe starts to dance particle by particle to your tune. The clouds cleared away from your face. The sky is split apart into layers and showing like moonlight beams through all the windows. The light became stronger. In oneness, all the souls into pieces started dancing particle by particle in front of the sun, flying around everywhere, saying what will be, will be. Before we were born, and we kept kicking and moving in the darkness of the womb, just to express our heartfelt thanks. We are all Sufis who came dancing from the dervish convent to give thanks for these blessings. So I close with just a couple of affirmations. I am grateful for the divine ecstasy within that calls me to use my full body, exalt my full body into the ecstasy of the oneness and connection with the divine. I am listening to the calling that readies me for the journey to experience ecstasy in every cell of my body. I am allowing that ecstasy to spring forth, bubble over, fill my cup as I see all the particles in the universe dancing together, creating the ecstatic oneness. I am strong, I am moving. I listen to that which calls me, never stifling the ecstasy within me, not allowing others to stifle the ecstasy within me. Instead, using my body to express the ecstasy within me. Whether in private moments or in sacred dances, I am giving thanks for the blessings, for all of these blessings of the affirmation and the knowing how important movement is to the mind, body, and soul. So I let this go. I listen to my body. I eat lightly today. I listen to my body. I breathe deeply, breath by breath, and listen to the ecstasy calling me to be more active and bring that joy from within, expressing it outward. And together we say, and so it is. And so it is today as we move and breathe and live and be in our beingness of the oneness. I say, peace out, namaste, peace out, namaste. I love each and every one of you. Tomorrow we're examining gazing raptly through the eyes of the wonderful 13th century poet Rumi. Love each and every one of you. God is, I am. It's the only way it can be. And so it is.